Oh my gosh, we are officially live. Hey folks, Lester here, and happy Friday to you all. I hope that you noticed when I typed in the title that it's going to be Lunch with Longhorn Lester with a special guest. We do have a special guest, and this particular person is waiting for me right now in what I like to call the green room. You know, the green room is it's a real thing they use when people go on to interviews on talk shows and whatnot. They have all of their guests who have to sit kind of in the back room waiting to be called out. And so, believe it or not, StreamYard does call this the green room. Now, give me a couple of seconds to do some housekeeping. I do have both platforms going, Facebook and YouTube. Over here on this computer, on my laptop, I have Longhorn Lester Facebook, Longhorn Lester YouTube, and I have I'm a Survivor YouTube. I got all you guys here together. Now, the only problem with my phone is I'm a Survivor. Facebook doesn't like us to use StreamYard, so they will end up giving us issues. So I'm going to encourage the 1,000+ people who are watching on my phone. If you want to jump over, you can stay on Facebook, but go to Longhorn Lester's just for this particular live, because we are going to have an interview and I will have my guests here in a side-by-side screen, but you guys won't be able to see that if you're on the phone up here. So once again, you guys who are looking at me right now, the ones that I'm looking at and pointing at, you're fine. But all of you guys who I'm watching on my phone, who are watching on Facebook, I'm a Survivor, I would encourage you just to go ahead and exit out of the live, stay on Facebook, but in that little search thingamajiggy, type in Longhorn Lester's, and you'll be able to pop up and you'll join us on this live over here. And this will be a whole lot more conducive to doing the side-by-side interview form. All right, and as I'm talking, no one's leaving. I'm sitting here watching the numbers grow, and it's so sad that people don't really understand, and it's even more sad that Facebook doesn't realize that there's really neat things happening, but because of their "we are Facebook" mentality, we are Big Brother, they don't want to share StreamYard. They don't want to be doing that. So I'm going to ask, and if anyone else wants to join the actual interview part, you should jump down to Longhorn Lester's on Facebook, and you'll be a part of this platform. Um, Anyway, listen, this was a very big week for us. There were a lot of things going on, and most of you guys are, you keep up with what's happening on both channels, both platforms. The double dippers, we call them, or the double D's. I did not create that. Someone else created that, and I'm like, hey, ain't nothing wrong with no double D's. So we'll go with that. But if you are a double dipper, you already know what's going on. And if you don't, you may have missed a couple of things. As you guys know, we normally play our videos, not always back to back, but we will play our videos on Facebook first and then play them on YouTube a couple of days later. That way people can kind of keep up and you're not too far along or behind each other. There's occasions when Facebook will not approve a video, so we'll play it on YouTube first, and Facebook has to wait until they finally get around to doing a manual review, and at that point they'll check it out. Okay, I'm happy to see that the Facebook numbers on the phone, when I'm a Survivor, have dropped down to still about 800, but I would hope that you guys would at some point go visit Longhorn Lester's. You don't have to subscribe. You don't got to join the page. But you can go there and just watch the actual interview that we're about to do. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds here to catch everything up, and then we're going to meet this person. We're going to meet this person, and I got the jitters. If you can't see me, I got the shakes. And so I get those for a couple of reasons. And today's reason, I have good reason to have the shakes today. So y'all give me one moment. I have to get my Dr. Pepper. This is how I combat the shakes. I know a lot of y'all are saying Lester's probably gonna go take him a little whiff of something to calm his nerves. No, I don't have to do that. I can calm my nerves from this right here. Okay, so I can tell that everyone's excited. I'm reading a lot of neat comments over here. Most of you guys already know who it is. How do y'all do this? Do y'all have a Mr. Predicto, one of the little mind readers? Do y'all have one of those little balls that you shake up and you ask questions and then you wait for the answer? It must be something. I don't know. But nonetheless, with no further ado, let me introduce you all to a very lovely, lovely lady who did an amazing thing for us this week. I call her Miss Tina. I call her Miss Tina, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. Y'all ready to meet her? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, and Miss Tina, I hope you're ready.
Hi. How you doing, Lester?
I am doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Doing good. Got both the kids in tow today.
Well, why don't you bring the kids in and show them? We want to see the kids, or do you not
Come here,
want to?
sis. Come here. I gotta go grab baby sis. She doesn't walk yet.
Go ahead. Hello, little girl. What's your name?
Sissy.
Your name is Sissy? Well, hey, yeah. I love your hair. I got a question. Sissy, how do you like my hair? Sissy, where did you go? Sissy, how do you
She's
like
right
my hair?
Come up here.
Sissy, do you like this or not?
So he's bald, isn't he?
Sissy, yeah. I want the truth. Sissy, do you like this? The baby's like, well, I want to touch that thing. What is that toy?
I actually have 3. My other one's in school.
I know. So tell us all about yourself. Just tell us all about yourself.
Well, I am a mom of 3, obviously. I started off grooming dogs. I've always had a love for animals, and I love farm life. I've always had horses. Well, yeah. Since I was 14, I had horses. And so when I moved up here to a small little old town up in Central Texas, we kind of fell in love with alpacas. Yeah. So I dove in head first and I got my first few, and it turned out it was a lot more complicated than I thought.
Yeah.
I did all the research I thought I could, but honestly, firsthand experience from good mentors was what I needed, and I got that, and now we are a successful alpaca farm. And
I was reading y'all have 15 llamas and alpacas now. I've been doing some homework on you.
Between the llamas and alpacas, I think I have 15, and then we had one born 3 days ago, I think 4 days ago. Okay. And then I have 3 more girls to go that are gonna have their babies end of April.
Your little girls are having the best time. One of them playing with the air, and the other one's just kind of wobbling back and forth, like doesn't know what's going on.
Yes, and I think she baked me something special.
Okay. What now? So the older one, so the one in school, what's her name?
Her name is Harper.
Harper, and then the one behind you, you're calling her Sissy. And
this is Harlan.
Harlan, okay. And how about the baby?
And this is Reese Harlow.
Reese Harlow. That's awesome. All right, and let's hear about your husband.
My husband, his name is Dylan.
Okay.
He's about 6'6" and is string. And my kids are all extremely tall because of him. Oh. And he runs a lawn and tree business.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a welder by trade as well.
So he's working right now, I'm guessing.
Oh yes, yeah, he's running around somewhere around here.
Well, we had the distinct pleasure. Give me 1 second, everybody. Is there anyone who's watching on YouTube or Facebook who would kindly go over to the I'm a Survivor page and let those folks know how to find? Hi, Sissy. Is there anyone who would jump over to I'm a Survivor and let those kind folks know what's going on and show them where they can join us? They're still over there who don't know what's going on. Sissy,
yeah.
Sissy,
look at Lester. Lester's talking.
Do you help Mama with the alpacas?
Yeah.
And how about with that little pony? Because I saw a Facebook video of a pony.
Yeah.
Is that
Yep.
Goldie?
What's that pony's name?
Goldie.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's cute. And well, that's awesome. And how old is she?
She just turned 3 in December.
Oh, wow. So you got another year or so before she goes off to school.
Yes.
You have your hands full for a while longer then. Well, that was amazing. That was really great that you were able to find time to drive down to us. You drove, did you say 2.5 hours to get here?
About 2.5 hours. Can I put you down? You're really heavy.
You want to go watch your cartoons now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you later, okay?
Okay.
Go watch your cartoons. Go see Bluey.
You're a sweet girl. Thank you for saying hi to us.
Do you want some cookies? I'll give you some cookies. Ooh, we're going to break out the cookies.
Miss Tina did drive 2.5 hours to get over here, and I felt bad. I'll talk more about that. I just really want you folks to have a chance to see the actual interview, and you're on the wrong channel. If you'll go to Longhorn Lester's on Facebook, you can continue to be a part of this live. We don't do this a whole lot, but since I normally keep the channels pretty much separated, Longhorn Lester's versus I'm a Survivor. But since you did a big job for us here at I'm a Survivor, I wanted to be able to bring all the platforms together and kind of show it off. I'm going to play for you a little video snip, and then I'm going to stop it along the way and ask you to describe each of these experiences, if you don't mind. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put up a little video clip here. Give me just a moment, and everyone who's watching, I think, will enjoy this. So I'm going to have to back it up a little bit because it already started on me. Okay, so this over here is our baby, and you call her a cria. Is that the name of a baby alpaca?
Yes, baby alpaca is referred to as a cria, and llamas.
What point do they become no longer a cria? Is there a certain age, or is there a maturity level, or what did it take to make one?
I would say when they reach sexual maturity at about 2 years of age, 18 months to 2 years of age, then they just become a female or a male.
So these are in no particular order, obviously, because this was not the first one that we did. But I wanted to show this little video snippet and then have you talk a little bit about our baby Indy, our cria Indy.
Picking up vegetable matter and everything else.
So for everyone who's watching, I would like you to notice how she's standing nice and still. I'm holding the rope with the halter,
no
but
shortage of
there's
hair.
no fight in her whatsoever. The halter didn't quite fit her tiny face, but it didn't matter. She was just content to stand there and let us work on her. All right, so talk to us a little bit about your experiences with baby crias in particular, and then, of course, jump into our little girl. And how did she react compared to the way they normally react?
So
with a haircut. Let me get you big again. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
So crias, they, especially ones that have never been handled, they kind of just freeze. And they're like, okay, maybe I won't die. Maybe I'm already dead. I don't know. But I'm just going to stay still, you know. Yeah. And as long as mom isn't over there going, what's happening, you know. Mm-hmm. And Annie's kind of over it. Her cria is big, and she's not quite as protective as she once was, I'm sure.
Okay.
So the mom's not being there enticing them to freak out. That helps as well. And but she did so good for her first time. She was such a little doll. She just kind of froze, and she was like, okay, I'll do whatever you want. Okay, baby.
A lot of folks had no idea that she had that thick of fiber. Do you call it fiber, or do you call it
fiber?
Wool? Yeah, that's fiber. Okay, so not fleece, that's fiber.
Fleece, fiber. Wool refers to sheep.
Oh, okay.
As where fleece and fiber refer to like your Angora goats, your alpacas, llamas, stuff like that.
Okay, I had no idea. I'd learned so much from the visit that you were here, and I told you that even after we're done with the alpaca videos, I'm going to play an additional video at some point with a lot of the other things that I learned from you while you were here those several hours. So you would say that Indy overall did about what a baby does, and the amount of fleece that she had, or the amount of fiber, was about average for what, 8-month-old girl.
Was she only 8 months old?
God, why'd you ask me that? I don't know. I don't know. I think she's getting about that old.
She's big for an 8-month-old.
I think she was born last summer.
Okay.
Here's how I know that. Because now, of course, this is the first year that we ever hired out someone to do our shearing for us. And last year, when Jamie and I tried to do it, we noticed that Annie, her mom, was real jittery when it came to working around the belly area.
Yes.
So we know for a fact that she was born after that. Now, the exact date, someone in the comments will tell us for sure. I don't know, but I think she's at least 8, maybe even older. But
okay.
But yeah, so that's about normal, or is that a lot, or is that?
It's pretty normal, and the more fiber you have, the better.
So she was born in July. Everyone's saying she was born in July. Okay.
And what the spinner's like is the staple length, which is the length of the fiber from root to tip, and the crimp in it. All those little waves you saw. And that makes it just spin beautifully and card out beautifully and stick together and not fray when you're spinning it into yarn or whatever you're doing as far as crafts or textiles.
So not that I would know anything about this, but someone today in the comments said that crimping used to be a style that women would do with their hair as well. There's actually crimping irons that could make your all hair do similar things. And that's pretty neat.
I remember the 2000s.
2000s, okay, good. All right, so that was fun. Indy was great. She was just a champ. Baby just laid there, and just like you said, she's like, as long as I'm not dying, I'm fine. And she let us work. Do you think that now that we started this early, she'll always be like this, and it should always be, they'll remember from year to year what's going to happen?
It depends on what she learns from her mother.
Oh no, don't say that, because Mama's coming up. We're gonna hold off on that question until we see Mama, because I know if you watched the video, you saw that I was real careful with my editing, and there's a lot of Mama that I did not show.
Yes.
Because folks don't understand how this can be. Let's go ahead and go into our next little guy.
And it's all about balance. If they stay like that, they're balanced. Nothing can touch them.
What I want to talk about real fast is just watch how well he leads right into that contraption that you brought.
But if you take that hind foot and pull it out from under them, and they're not balanced anymore, they have no choice.
Oh.
Is that what you do to your kids and husband too? Oh, no.
So, I almost went a little bit too far. So Ernie, I think that I was most impressed about with Ernie. Obviously, today the video was about Indy. Yesterday it was about Annie. So no one has seen the Ernie video yet. And I didn't want to play too much of that right now. I don't want to give it away or spoil it for anybody who wants to watch tomorrow. But Ernie, as far as leading, you walked right in, put a halter on him, and you circled around, and he walked right inside that little, call that contraption that you have.
A chute.
He walked right inside the chute. When you closed the door, and you latched him in, and he never really resisted. And then I told you that Ernie was actually from an alpaca farm when he was young, so he may have actually had this done to him before. So he may have been not completely confused by what you did. He may have seen it before. How do you think his behavior was?
He was just a normal guy, just okay, it's my yearly thing, let's do it.
Okay. Something that I do not want to talk about a whole lot, but because it is going to be in that little lengthy video that I'm going to make about the behind the scenes talks that you and I had, is the fact that you were surprised that Ernie is able to stay with Annie full time and all the time, because you were saying that most of the time in the alpaca world, alpacas are a lot like a lot of folks know from our ostrich Carl, or roosters around the farm. They constantly want to be breeding or having intercourse throughout the entire day and multiple times a day. And so I think that you talked about that might be a real testament to Annie and how strong of a presence she is and how dominant that she is, that she doesn't let Ernie do that, because like I told you, we've only seen them, in the act a couple of times, and we're here and we have cameras all over the place. So we would have seen if that was happening, and only on very rare occasions does it happen. So
and that's good. That's good. And Annie is a force to be reckoned with. So I'm sure she holds up her end very well.
We're gonna get there. All right. So with no further ado, I know everyone wants to see this. Now, this is where I have to give a warning. This is where I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to give the warning to everybody. If you're a sensitive viewer, or if you're someone who doesn't really understand farm life and a lot of how farm life goes, it's not all pretty. There's a lot of good, bad, and ugly. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
No, it's not. And so in saying so, I had this, it took me an entire afternoon to edit any video, any section. I had 65 minutes of Annie, only Annie, that I had to cut down to about 15 minutes because of a lot of her riffraff. And so let's go ahead and get to it now. I love her, but oh my God, let's open it up. Listen, girl, we're gonna go into your stall. I'll let you in a little bit longer.
That's probably good.
All right, you want to take your halter off, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, she's trying to headbutt. Annie, you're where you want to be. There's no need for all this.
Okay, Megan, you'll close that.
I don't want to get her foot. Ah, that's why.
It's fun to LE.
Maybe you let her run around with it on her neck for a little bit.
It's not an alpaca. I don't know what that is, but that's not an alpaca. That's scary.
That's a wild horse. It's a wild stallion.
I'm more afraid of that than a horse.
No.
Yeah.
Because, well, even in the midst of her free.
And so I paused it right there because even after the hour-long event, or can we just call it the ordeal of the shearing that
Don't put that in.
Even walking her back into the pasture, she was just something that we never saw out of either one of the other alpacas. And so we talked in the video about the lead rope that we were using and how you could actually squeeze out all of the gunk that she had.
The rumen contents.
We got spit on multiple times, and she can spit
mostly you.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to talk about that. And this is actually a testament to you. Let me open that back up.
No, she didn't want to get me.
Look at this over here. Now, I don't know. Annie has been with me for 4 years now. Annie's been with me for 4 years. All right, watch this over here, though. I'm backing up a little bit. Okay, so from the moment that I hand her off to you, everyone saw how she went crazy with me. Crazy with Daddy. Crazy. There's no calm at all. Sweet girl, we're gonna go into your stall. Sweet girl, come on, love. Come on, sweetie. I'm trying to use every line that I got to work for most ladies.
Oh boy, she's trying to headbutt.
Worked for her.
Annie, you're where you want to be. There's no need for all this.
Okay, Megan, you'll close that.
I don't want to get her foot. Ah, that's why.
Okay, now I have to pause it right here because something very powerful happened here, and only folks that are familiar with with stuff would recognize this. And I'm going to ask you, and you can be honest.
Okay.
Why me? Why did she give me such a hell of a time? Because watch what happens right here. I'm going to play it on out.
Maybe you let her run around with it on her neck for a little bit.
That's not an alpaca. I don't know what that is, but that's not an alpaca. That's scary.
Why did she let you walk up on her, put your hands around her, take off the leash or the halter in her lead rope, and you gave her a little hug, and she never jumped, she never spit, she never screamed. And the whole time I'm trying to sweet talk her and love on her and do all those things, it was an utter beatdown.
Okay, give me just a second. Let me set this baby down before she throws herself down.
Okay.
Okay, so you may have heard me mention when they were fighting in the chute, and like when I was catching them and stuff, I said they only do it for a second and they realize that they're not dying and they calm down. So it could have been a combo of she fought it out with you, and then when you handed her off to me, she was already like, whew, okay, you know, or a lot of it is body language. I handle these animals daily.
Okay.
Being at my farm and other people's, you know, I avoid looking straight at them. It doesn't really matter if your eyes connect with theirs, it doesn't matter. But I tend to kind of just watch them because they like to throw their head a lot. Yeah. And that will knock you the heck out.
Yeah, so well, I'm worried about these hooves coming down and slicing me across the face and the gut.
No, not really. The only time I have ever been sliced, that one, it was a llama. She threw herself down in the chute, and I just said, well, I'll just do your nails. And she kicked out, and she didn't mean to, but she was just, you know, scrambling. Because when they decide to get up, they're getting up. And body language is a big thing. When you come at them like this with your chest out and your shoulders back.
Is that what I did?
Maybe. I'd have to rewatch it again. But
oh Lord,
when you go at them like, I'm gonna catch you, it's really confrontational, and they're like, I'm out. So what I do is I approach from the side. I kind of just make myself a little bit lesser, and I'll loop that arm around really quick, and then I'll hold them for a second, let them do their little shimmy shake, and once they calm down, woo-saw, you know, halter, and then go on.
Everyone's saying they want to watch it one more time because they're laughing. Everyone is laughing.
Okay,
we'll watch it one more time, but I don't know why we're doing this. There was nothing funny about it to me. I was terrified, and because she's strong, she's very strong, and she can get right up, and
yes.
I was just so afraid of her coming down on top of me and slicing me. Almost there. It makes me do this manual. I don't have her back up. Here it comes. All right. So from the time you released her, everything was great. You release her. I should have let you walk her back. I should have said, hey, would you mind just walking her back to her little pasture? And instead, all right, let me do my part. You worked so hard. You're over there and sweating and you're working. And I'm like, I'll just walk her back. And this is what I got. Don't you kick me. Sweet girl, we're going to go into your stall. You go. I don't feel like I'm being macho. I don't feel like I'm being like a man.
That's probably good.
All right, you want to take your halter off, right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. She's trying to headbutt. Annie, you're where you want to be. There's no need for all this.
I'm trying to dodge her. That's the only reaction I had. There was nothing machismo. Megan's running.
Maybe you let her run around with it on her neck for a little bit.
It's not an alpaca.
And all of a sudden, you take her and I walk away, and she's still eyeballing me. Look at her.
That's a wild horse. It's a wild stallion.
I'm more afraid of that than a horse.
No.
Yeah.
Because, well, even in the midst of her freaking out, she didn't want to get near my dad. She didn't want to get near a person.
gosh, I love her so much, but she is, you called her a pistol at some point, and I hadn't heard that word in a long time. So I'm going to start using that word pistol, and that's all thanks to you. Wow, being a pistol. Is that only for ladies? Only for females? Can you call a pistol?
I don't know. That's just, it's mostly my females that are the turds. So the males usually they're just so sweet and docile, and it's always the females that cause the ruckus.
So you've actually seen and have dealt with this before, then, that kind of behavior?
Oh, absolutely. A lot worse than Annie.
I try to read. Oh, really? I try to read the comments as they're going by, and a lot of folks are saying it's because you're a woman and that you have they can sense the gentleness in that maybe. And then other folks are saying it's like you said, because you're familiar with them, they can probably sense that you have a confidence about you that I don't have, and all of that may be true. But I don't think I went out there like, come on, I don't think I did anything like that.
No, so, you didn't knowingly. But is Annie halter trained, like on a regular? No. Okay. So if we were, training her to lead or whatever, we would always face forward. Your sternum is telling her where to go. Okay. If you're facing her like this, she's like, you're blocking my way. I want to go around you. I want to go away from you.
Man,
so
that makes perfect sense.
You always turn around. You can look back at them. You can look back and see if they're going to come over the top of you or whatnot.
That's why when you got her halter, you kind of walked it back towards her, not like just walked right up on her.
Yes. And the same goes for horses and cattle and stuff like that you're halter training too. Is you face forward, you can look back at them, make sure everything's cool back there, and just keep going. When you're facing them confrontational, you don't realize it, but they're like, I'm good. I think I'll just stop here.
Well, that was very impressive. And, it's funny because I feel like you were here for several hours, but I feel like the day went so fast. I don't know.
It really did. We talked a lot more than I realized. And you were like, hey, I got to go pick up my truck.
Yeah, I learned a lot. And so I have tons of video footage that if you don't mind, even after we're done with the Ernie video tomorrow, I think that a lot of folks would be interested to learn some of what I learned from you just in our conversations. I do want to show everybody something, and you're going to have to describe this one for me. This is going to be kind of a surprise in that fourth video, but I received these. You left these on the porch with the note. Like you said, I had to leave before you did. And so Ellie and Ben, Megan were here to see you off, and I had to go. But you left this on the porch for me, and you said these are dryer balls.
They are. They replace your dryer sheets. You can, if you like your clothes to smell good, you can add essential oils for scent, and it'll last a few loads. And they're a renewable resource. I don't know about you, but
alpaca fiber?
It is. It's 100% alpaca fiber.
So how come we didn't gather all that up out there? How come we got birds digging through it?
I asked you.
I didn't know you could do stuff like this.
I do.
Well, you could have had all that you wanted.
Oh no, I've got plenty. I've got years of fiber.
With 15 alpaca, I'm sure you do. So what you do is you gather up some of the fiber, and how do you make it stay in this shape of a ball?
Okay, so first I will card out our second cut, which is our medium grade fiber. The worst fiber is on their legs, on their chest, on their belly, and that's the stuff that is always dirty and just gross and kind of coarse. And so I will take the seconds and the firsts, which is the seconds are on the neck and the shoulders and the hips, and the blanket, which is the first, is the barrel of the animal, and that's the best fiber. So what I'll do is I'll card it out. It looks like I don't know if you've seen it, like a cat brush, a slicker brush.
Yeah.
And it's just a big sheet that looks like a big giant slicker brush. And I take another slicker brush, and I card it out and get it all really nice and pretty and velvety. And that is the wall of that ball. Okay. And then I'll get a bowl of Dawn dish soap. I don't mix it. I twirl it with my hand and don't make it all foamy.
Yeah.
And then I take those third cuts, those nasty third cuts. I take it and I wrap it up in that carded fiber and I hold it together with my hands. I dip it in that Dawn soap and I just felt it. And it all sticks together. And then I'll put it in a sock and I'll put it in the washing machine on hot. And it does the rest for me.
So here's my question, and I'm sorry if I sound naive or like a man, but you said you put it in the dryer,
Yes.
like you would a dryer sheet.
Yes, they replace, and they dry things a lot faster because the alpaca fiber is hollow on the inside and it draws out moisture from your clothes. And I don't know what the difference is, but the lint, the dog hair, I don't know if you deal with dog hair like I do because I'm a groomer as well, but it makes it all disappear.
So something else that I had no idea about with alpaca fiber. I've heard a lot of things about it. Is it retardant or resistant? So a lot of.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that? I've heard some really neat things about it. It's hypoallergenic. And so,
it is hypoallergenic.
And now people can also make dryer balls out of it.
Yes.
Well,
and it's a renewable resource.
Yeah.
So it's less plastic waste. You're not finding those dryer sheets stuck to your clothes. I've been out in public before and I pull out a dryer sheet out of my shirt, you know. Oh God. And I find them all over my house. So I'm like, these are so much better. And they last for years. To refresh them, you put them in a hot soapy wash with your clothes, doesn't matter. And then throw them back in the dryer.
I'm not about to let you go yet, unless if you're trying to run out on me.
No, I'm not.
I understand. I hear the babies, but a couple of folks are asking where can they get these from? Do you happen to sell any of these things?
I have an Etsy shop, or you can buy them from me direct. I also make stone rugs, but it's a long wait for the stone rugs because I do have a very busy life and they take a lot of time.
Could you do me a favor? And you might not be able to, but I bet I can. Why don't you send me the name of your Etsy page?
It's Camelid Corner.
Oh, so Camelid Corner, what you have there right there. So for everyone that's interested in what she has on her Etsy shop, Camelid Corner is right there under her picture, and you can see that. I've also put her page. Go ahead, you can do what you need to do. I've also put her page name in both of the videos that I've built so far, and it'll be in the Ernie video tomorrow. And so I would just ask that if you guys, even if you don't buy something, you go visit her page and give her a review or a like or a follow. That means a lot to other people who are looking for business. Even if you don't have alpacas, what you do is, what I had to do was go onto Craigslist, go onto Marketplace, and I began to look around. And so what I was trying to do is find someone that I did a proximity search first, and it begins to kind of expand out from Plum Grove area. Once I got to a certain area around Texas, there were several. And so then what I do is start looking at pictures of your work and seeing that you work with the emus and that you do eggs, you do obviously the alpacas and everything, is what made me reach out to call you. We have kind of a funny story about that. Can I tell it?
Of course.
I'm so embarrassed about this, but so when I went and found the page, it's very clearly stated, I think in all bold, it says, please send text, don't call, do not call. And so I didn't read. All I was like, I'm looking at pictures. And then I saw a phone number, so I called, and on your voicemail, it said something to the effect of, you got babies and you're busy and people need to text. You can check the text when the babies are down. You don't want to be woken up when babies are sleeping and napping and everything else. And I totally get that. You want to save your phone for emergencies and for family and stuff like that. And so I felt like a total jerk. So we started off kind of rocky. We had a rocky relationship at the beginning. I know you probably hated me. So
no,
out of nowhere. But I hope that in the long run, you can help your business grow a little bit. And like I said, folks, even if you don't need to have your alpacas sheared, or you don't plan on buying dryer balls, go by and like the page. She's done a huge service to us. We would appreciate you guys. Oh, what does that say? The Country Club at Golden Nugget. That's not
It's
your.
for my Nana. My Nana loves to gamble.
Oh gosh, so does my Aunt Joanne. She loves to take a little casino trip. Anyway, Camelid Corner. Camelid Corner is how you pronounce it?
Camelid Corner, yes.
Camelid
We
Corner.
eventually plan on owning camels as well, so I figured, you know what, let's just get the
Oh.
whole genus in there.
Okay, well, good luck with the camels, because I've heard that they can be a nightmare. So
Well, I have experience training camels from one of the best bosses I've ever had, and I fell in love with them. And so I started with the alpacas, and once I have more experience and more knowledge under my belt, then we'll jump into camels.
Well, I want to show one more snippet of video. You got a couple of minutes?
Of course.
I know you're busy. So this was our babies before. I'll pause it right here. This is the way, this is how they were when you showed up. Let's a little bit about the differences in why Annie's face is shaped the way it is compared to Ernie and her baby Indy. Annie's our female, and she's the white one, and I don't know why her face is shaped so differently. And so you raise alpacas and llamas. Is there such a thing as a hybrid mix between the two? And is that what she is?
There is. They're called a Juarezo, and I'm not a fan. She could be, and I kind of thought about that as well, because she does not have the top knot. Llamas don't have a top knot. And they have the longer banana-shaped ears, but it all could come down to breeding as well.
Have been crossbred so many times that this is just kind of come out with.
Yeah, and Ernie looks like a very well-bred Wakaya alpaca, which is there's two species of alpacas. There's the Suri, which have the long hair like mine.
Okay.
It kind of looks like an Irish setter, like how they have that long wispy hair. Yeah. And then you have the Wakaya, which has the fro. You know, they look like a cute little teddy bear, and they are more popular here in the U.S. Okay. So he's a very well-bred Wakaya, and he has that shorter face. In America, we have bred them to have that shorter, fuzzier face, and as you can see, Indy got that as well. Right. With her, we don't know anything about her. Like you said, she's not registered, so we don't know anything about her. She's a rescue, so she could very well be a Juarezo. She could just be, you know, poorly bred. Who knows?
Okay, I got you. So not like a particular, she's not a particular breed or anything. So
no.
Ernie is very obvious. I'm sorry, Ernie is obvious that he's a very well-bred alpaca. Indy shows a lot of Ernie's characteristics. Annie's just kind of our girl. She's just our girl, and we love her just the way she is. She's
the personality.
Yes, she's our pistol. She's our pistol. I think I have one more thing here. Let me see what else I got.
How do you feel, buddy?
So this is the finished product. This is kind of a spoiler alert. The Ernie video comes out tomorrow, but I love this moment right here because you told me this was going to happen. And all of the years that Jamie and I have sheared our own alpacas, and so first of all, we have never done anything near this good. Ours are usually half shaven when it's over and done with. You told me that they're probably not going to recognize each other. And got the neatest video of them going around for the rest of the day, not knowing who to trust, not knowing who's who. And I show a little bit of that right over here.
Oh my goodness.
The baby wants to know who Dad is. The thing is, I don't think any of them realize that they look different. They don't know they look different. It's just the other ones look different to them.
I want to say thank you to you.
You're welcome.
Tell me the name of your business.
Camelid Corner.
Make your shirt straight. I'm going to show your shirt. We're going to see a name of it.
A little bit dirty.
I know. Well, we're both quite a bit dirty.
These hands
I'll tell you what. I don't see your hands. How dirty are they? Because they're as dirty as mine.
them are working man's or working woman's hands right there. And we work. Miss Tina, I told you that I feel like we went to war that morning and we came out victorious. Our babies look great, and we appreciate all that you did to help us with that. You have a really neat setup. Driving 2.5 hours there and then back that afternoon, leaving babies at the daycare or wherever you left them to get that taken care of for us. It means a lot, and we are forever indebted to you. Yeah, we hope that you'll remain a friend of I'm a Survivor, because next year we're going to come a call, and I promise you, you'll be. Sorry, we're going to come a texting. I'm going to come a texting next year. I ain't going to come a calling because I don't like calls. But be expecting my text next year, hoping to get you out there again at some point.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So,
I look forward to it.
Is there
thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to add that I forgot to talk about? Because you're just a
Ow, can you quit headbutting me? Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Well, there are exactly 4,000 folks watching us on this platform. That would be the Facebook Longhorn Lesters, the I'm a Survivor YouTube, and Longhorn Lester YouTube. And then we still have 600 watching over on the other channel who can't see anything but my hat. So some people just don't want to switch around. They're used to one thing. They want to stay there no matter what.
Yes.
They can at least hear the interview. But thank you so much. And you guys make sure y'all reach out to her. Don't call her. But y'all can review her page and give her a positive review, because she did an amazing job for us. So
and that was for when I had a newborn and I was up all night. So the answering machine has changed.
Oh, you want me to call you now? I wouldn't say that. I would not say that, because you'll be like, God, the phone
I have so many people that call me in a day that I don't know whose number is whose because I don't have them saved.
Right.
So it's best to text me with your info, like after you call me, so that way I can organize everybody.
All right. That makes perfect sense. And you don't want the phone ringing off the hook all day. You don't want that. It makes it hard to know who's bill collectors and who's real people. I know about that. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, it was a pleasure meeting you. I will let you go. Thank you so much for taking time to join me today. And like I said, the alpacas look great. I made a video earlier, and we're blessed to know you and to have made your acquaintance. And we hope that you do very well. And don't forget us. We'll be needing you next year. All right.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
As a matter of fact, you left one of your most important tools here. I didn't bring it in with me, but when she took off and left, she was in such a hurry to leave that she left her most important tool. It looks like a little Bo Peep thingamajiggy. It has like this long stick with this hooked end on it. What do you do with that?
It's called a shepherd's crook.
Okay.
And it's an extension of your arm. So like you saw, like when they're running from you in a pen, your arms are only so long, but they're not expecting you to hold out a 6-foot long shepherd's crook. And you can go get them in that corner. And as they spin around and fight it, that crook goes around with them and doesn't let them go until you unhook them.
So something I should invest in then.
Yes, but I cannot find any that are exactly like that one.
I have one now, so I'm good for a while.
You're welcome to use it. It's an amazing tool, and I wish if anybody watching knows how to make them or makes them, I would love to get your info because I need about 10 of them.
I will include that when I make my 4th video, which is the information video we're going to talk about. All right, well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and take care of them babies.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
We'll see you later. Everyone else, if y'all will stick around for a while, I'm going to hang out with you for a little bit. So let me go ahead and get Miss Tina where she needs to go. And I think that she's taken care of now. Now it's just us. Now it's just all of us. We're back to a regular Longhorn Lester Lunch with Longhorn Lester Friday. Listen to me, for the folks on Facebook, I'm a Survivor. just know that I hate that you were not included in that. I wanted you to be a part of that and be able to meet her and her family and be a part of the interview. But you have to know that Facebook, I'm a Survivor is a business page, and they don't like the StreamYard app. They do not work with StreamYard. You know how the contractual conflicts and all that. So I can't use StreamYard with them. So when we do things like that, I have to use StreamYard to pull all the platforms together. I know what you're saying. That's business stuff, Lester. I don't want to talk about business. I want to talk about animals. And so we will continue to talk about animals. We had a huge, y'all, it was a huge week of moving babies around. But for the most part, I think that everyone is where they're going to be for a while. The biggest question has come up about Donkey Dan and Imogene, and I think Jamie addressed it that Donkey Dan and Imogene are staying right here at I'm a Survivor. They are a partnership in themselves. They're a pair. I did move them up to the Littles pasture, so they have 3 large pastures, including the big, beautiful pond where they can hang out and do their thing. Don't forget, they are also animal protectors. So people buy donkeys to help with predator attacks. And so now it feels good to know that even though I'm not always here, we have Annie, we have Pig Newton, we have Pig Trudy, we have Donkey Dan, and Imogene, 5 major protectors. And any dog or anything else, wild boar, wild anything come in that pasture, and it's going to be regretting it, because you're not going to get in there and get to our chickens and get to our turkeys and get to our geese and all of the other vulnerable pets that we have here without having to deal with those guys. And they're not going to let you in and out of there very easily. I can promise you that. So we've also, so all of the horses have been moved. They're doing wonderful. Well, they're doing amazing. I tell you what, someone drove by and says, "You have quite the pasture, Art, don't you?" And so I talk to people when they come by, and I'm down by the road. Lots of people have stopped by to visit and look, and you know what? That's fine. You know what? It's a paying a blessing forward is the way that I see it. And I've heard that word pasture art more than one time. And I guess if you think about it, you look out there and you see Tex, this magnificent bull, and then you have obviously Voodoo and Bucky's, who are just gorgeous horses. Okay, don't forget about Ivy. She's pretty cute. And Santiana's a great mama with Charlene. And then you have the ostriches. And guys, how can you not, as you drive down that small country road and you pass this huge 10-acre pasture with these beautiful trees and rolling hills? Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but how can you not just slow down and maybe even just stop and just suck it in and smell it in? Because that right there, that is just a sight to behold. That is a sight to behold. And of course, we have Dixie and Beverly over on the other side of the pasture, which is the wooded side of the pasture, with not near as much grass, which is important for Dixie's health issues. She can't really have as much grass. We have the goats. And then, of course, we have Carl and Debbie. Debbie will be released into the big pasture very soon. We hope that will, as soon as I find some help, Debbie will be released into the big pasture. And I'm hoping that will help Debbie, help Carl kind of lose that loving feeling. Carl, it's time to lose the loving feeling. And because this has been going on for a while, and as long as he's still in there mating, then we're going to keep having more eggs, and we're trying to find a way to go ahead and run that cycle, and let's get back to normal, lovable birds. Now, earlier when I said that the only change we might be making in the future is I might possibly bring 2 of my ostriches back over here. Now, you know that we have Charlie and Tat. And we always knew having 2 males that it could eventually create an issue, because at some point they're going to start to fight. Now, as of now, they are not old enough to fight. They do want to raise their wings. They're like middle school kids. They want to raise their wings, which is kind of equivalent to kind of puffing out their chest. They might even walk up and bump into each other, but there's no fighting going on. There's no hissing. There's no fighting. It's just each of them trying to do what little young men do and try to one-up each other and show each other in little ways who's tougher. And we all know Tat's going to win that one. Tat is almost double the size. So Tat's going to win that one, unfortunately. And so what we don't want to have are three birds, Carl, Tat, and Charlie, who will always be fighting. So that leads you all to asking the same question. What about LE? If LE is going to be the 24-hour, LE and Megan are going to be 24 hours at I'm a Survivor, how are they going to take care of Longhorns? How are they going to take care of 2 more ostriches? They're not. They're not. I will be that guy. I'm still, guys, I don't know why or how it was misunderstood that I'm no longer going to be coming around my home. This is my home. This is my home. And I live here. And even though I do have a place now, we have finished, or at least close enough, the apartment at the shop at Longhorn Lester's for me to lay my head at night. I'm still here every day because I like being here. Now, will I have to come here and do all the chores? No. LE will be here to mow the grass. LE will be here to help bin open packages. LE will be here to help do the water, especially when we do waters twice a day in the heat of the summer. LE will be here to turn on the water sprinklers and let the animals cool themselves off. LE will be here at night to watch out for predators. LE will be here for, and the list can go on and on and on. And so I will not have to be here so much. So what I hope that my day will look like, and what has been my dream for a very long time, is I can wake up in the mornings and take care of the animals that I have at Longhorn Lester's. And at some point in the day, now Jamie still works full time, and she will for the next many years. Jamie's 10 years younger than I am. So even though I'm at retirement age, Jamie's not. So Jamie will still work for a while. And while Jamie still works, I will probably get in my truck and drive over here. And when I get here, I'll just tinker around. Do you know that word, tinker around? Tell me you know that word. When I get here, I'm just going to tinker around. Ellie will be here. Megan will be here. Ben will still come for his 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. But when I'm here, I'm just going to tinker around. I'm just going to find little things to do, which will include making videos. So if it was ever misunderstood that Lester's moving, here's how it was misunderstood. Yesterday, my mama calls. My mom calls crying. My mom calls me and she's crying. And I could hear the crying in her voice. I'm like, Mom, what's wrong? I didn't know you were moving to Longhorn Lester's. She didn't know I was moving to Longhorn Lester's. I'm like, Mom, I said, I've been staying at Longhorn Lester's since we had the puppies, since Christmas had our puppies for several months. And she goes, I know, but now you're moving. I'm like, Mom, my home is still there. My animals are still there. I'm not, it's like I'm packing up and moving overseas or something. Like I don't understand, it's just misinformation. It's misinformation. And someone here's what I'm guessing. Someone who misunderstood probably put a message on my dad's page. My dad, who had no idea, Dad doesn't know what's going on with anyone else but himself. Dad had no idea. So Dad goes and tells Mom. That's all I'm guessing. And next thing you know, Mom is very concerned that Lester's moving. And that's not the case. This is my home. And but I am excited about having a whole lot less responsibilities here. And like LE said in his video, handing the torch of responsibility. It's not the keys to my home, son. You ain't got the keys to my home. You ain't earned the keys to my home. But what you do have is the keys to responsibility. and putting out that hay and putting out them grains when they need it and changing that water sometimes several times a day, grabbing the packages from the road, keeping the gates closed and locked, keeping an eye on the place, making sure Buddy and Trixie are let out of the yard every morning, give them a chance to run and play. And then I'll come by and tinker around. So hold on a minute. Shara says, yes, tinkering or piddling around. Shara must know that word. Shara, thank you for putting it in all caps so I can read it. I know she's not screaming at me. She's not screaming at anybody, but she knows that I can't see. I can't see these small little letters right here flying by. But I am trying to see if there's any more. Hold on. We got some more. Hold on. Tinker, that's what you do in the toilet. No, that's tinkle. Tinkle. You tinkle in the toilet. Now, I don't tinkle, you guys. That's not a guy thing. There ain't no man who's going to say, hey, I got to go tinkle. Ain't no man ever said that in his life. Don't anyone screen record that and make a TikTok out of it, because Lester does not tinkle. Now, tinkle might be what some ladies do. Diane, not you. Diane, not you. Diane, you may tinkle in the toilet, but Lester doesn't. That was funny. Let's read some comments here. Jan says, Tina did a great job with Annie, the ornery one I have seen so far. The only one I've seen so far. I'm going to go watch the other two today. I've not had a problem understanding what you have said about what you were doing. I am happy for you getting a ranch. Well, thank you, Jan. I really appreciate the compliment on that. And it means a lot to me. Guys, there's milestones in our lives. And I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. I've been on for an hour already. And I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I do want to say this, and I hope you can understand where I'm saying this, and it may get a little bit deep, but you know, for 49 years of my life, the years of growing up with mom and dad, we were very poor. We were very, very poor. And if there were, I don't even know in those days, because I was young, if people put people into classes of who we were, but we were a very poor class of people. We were clean, but we were poor. My mama always kept us clean, but we were poor. And it was always a struggle to find money. All of my college was nothing that someone paid cash for. That was all done through loans and grants, and the same way everything else is when you're poor. And there were never cars given and never toys given. Things were earned, things were bought, things had to be saved for. And as I become an adult, thank you. Someone says it's called working class. As I became an adult and began working, I was just like most of you guys. I started off doing the McDonald's at the age of 16. I worked at a VHS video store. I worked at a number of small jobs. All the while, I was going to college when I could to earn my degree. It took me 6 years to earn a 4-year degree. What does that tell you? It took Lester 6 years to earn a 4-year degree. But by the age of 23 or 24, I am a school teacher, and I did teach school for 25 years. I've driven a bus an additional 2 years. And so I have put 27 years into the school district. And so let me hide that comment. And so I've put in some time, y'all. And so I am finally, when this school year ends, I am at the official age of retirement. Not age, but with teachers, it's age plus service has to equal a certain number. And once you reach that number, then you're able to retire. And I will retire with full benefits. And so making videos, which is what I say my job is now, it has done well for us. It has done very well for us, but don't think it's not a job. It is a full-time, every day, there's never a day off job. And so, and if you think videos are hard to make, what about taking care of so many animals that take even more time than that? So even though I can say I'm retired, I still have my hands full, and there's been no time taken off my schedule of things that I have to do every day besides the drive to and the drive from work. I don't have to do that. Now I drive to and from a beautiful ranch property named Longhorn Lester's, and that was the name that you gave it, not me. So thank you for that. I want to say, though, that it wasn't until I was at the age of 49 that I finally had made enough money to where I could start investing in things that my entire life, up to 49 years, it was paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And I understand this, and don't get me wrong, I understand that there are some folks that are not happy with success. They do not want to see people succeed, especially people that were once like them and they have found themselves in a different place. I have tried. You don't know how hard I have tried to stay the same Lester today as I was back then. And when I say back then, that was only a couple of years ago. Yes, I've been able to afford me a new truck. And yes, I've been able to afford me a piece of property, a dream property, my dream. And yes, I've been able to afford some things that I could have never in my life afforded up until this point. But I feel like if I take whatever money I earn from my videos and I invest that money into my property, into my animals, into my family, then this over here, this blessing will continue, because that's what gave us a start, is our love for animals and our dedication to animals. And so that's where we continue. Lester's not the kind of guy who's taking exotic vacations. Lester's not traveling to Europe. Lester's not out sailing around on yachts. Lester's not flying off for the weekend to Brazil. Or I don't even know what rich people do anymore. I don't know what rich people do. But Lester's not a rich man. Lester is rich in blessing. Lester is rich in blessing. And that's my only goal, is to continue to help my family continue with what they're trying to build. And so, yeah, I understand. And that's another reason why I feel like a lot of folks would not leave the I'm a Survivor page and jump over to the Longhorn Lester page. It's a lot. Here's what you know what I should do? I should share something with y'all. Let me see if I can. Give me one moment. I thought that I screen recorded something. I probably didn't, and I wish I would have now. I would love to share something with you all if I can find it. And I do not have it screen recorded. Hey, but you're going to give me a minute. Can y'all give me a minute? I'm going to go check my email. Don't leave me. Do not leave me. Do not leave me. Do not leave me, because you're going to actually love this. A lady sent this to me. Oh, I hope to gosh I can find it, because sometimes I delete emails as fast as I see them. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. So sorry about that. I was trying to find it. I'll save it for next time. I will save it for next time. I'm reading a comment here from Pam. I, for one, Lester, am happy for all the great things you have happening for you. I would love to find a piece of property like that. Please enjoy every moment, as this world is getting so crazy and scary. I enjoy all of your pages, but I must say your Longhorn Lester's page is the best one of all. Let me tell you why Longhorn Lester's is the best page of all. Because I'm going to agree with her, and it's all because of this right here. It's all because of this, not my brains, but it's the peace. It's the peace and the tranquility that has helped me find myself again. And in the Longhorn Lester videos, it might be the Lester of yesteryear, the Lester before there were chickens all over the place, and turkeys and ducks and geese attacking. and all of that. But it is there's a certain thing about your environment that sets the pace for your day, sets the pace for your life. And I'm so very blessed to have a place of peace and quiet. Now, don't get me wrong, the animals can certainly have their fair share of riffraff, and they can certainly add a little drama and stress to your day. Don't think they can't. They do every day. But it's animals that I enjoy. It's those are my pets. Those are my pets. And we have our rescue dogs there for the most part. And we have the shop, which gives me a big open space to get out of this small apartment into this big shop that I can turn on the fan if it's hot, or turn on one of the heaters if it's cold, and just have space. And then just the river and the hills and the pond and the trees, the shade. And I don't think that I can put into words what spending time at Longhorn Lester's does to me. However, I'm torn because I still have my home here. And when I say home, I don't mean the actual physical place where I'm sitting right now. What I mean is I have family members. I can look out any window and see what every family member is doing. And then I have the amount of work and the time that I put into this place, all of the rebuild after Harvey, the fences, the barns, and, just master planning what was a blank slate, just master planning a completely blank slate into forming the perfect farm, in my opinion. The money that the supporters from Facebook have helped with in getting our ponds and the berm and the big barn, and some of the larger purchases that we've done before we were making money from videos. And so all of those things have found their way and made what is a home to me mean a whole lot more than what may be just a home to someone that buys and sells and moves around the country on a regular occasion. Home to me is deep, and it's very it means a lot when I say home. And so Longhorn Lester's is my happy place. Longhorn Lester's is my happy place. But for as happy as I am, and as peaceful as I am, and as much as I need and want that peace in my life right now, it's so nice to know that I still have my home here. Karen Serrano says, it's your own little slice of heaven. It's okay to love to be there while still loving your home. Home is where your heart is. And is it possible to have your heart in two places? Is it possible to have your heart in two places? Here's that. It comes again from Vicky. Home is where the heart is. And so I don't really know how to feel about that. Longhorn Lester's is your personal legacy to Lex. I'm a Survivor is your legacy to Ellie. Brenda, I love the way you say that. And I think that you're right. Now, if Lex came today and says, okay, Dad, I am ready for Longhorn Lester's, out you go. No, you ain't. No, you ain't ready, because I ain't ready to die yet. Because now Ellie is 23. And like Ellie made a video yesterday of he and Megan repairing a fence out here. And he was so proud of himself for some things that he'd been doing around, some things that I gave him a job to do, yet I don't follow him around to do it. You give him a job to do, yet you don't follow him around to do it. And I think that a lot of us might be able to remember a time in our lives when we gave our kids a job to do, and we trusted them to do it. And so LE was going to repair a small piece of fence. The Amazon driver had backed up and run over the fence, right over here beside the pasture. Y'all should watch that video if you haven't yet. It's on LE's channel, Flip Flop Farmer. But he and Megan were going to repair that fence, and he found the lumber he needed. He found the tools he needed. He found everything that he needed to go out there and fix that fence. And in that video, he talked about a lot of people, including his dad, don't have a lot of faith in him. but he's actually he knows a lot more than he's been being given credit for, because he's observed a lot longer than people realize that he's been observing. And he said, he's never really been one to follow me around as I go throughout the day doing all of the different chores, but he has been around enough to be a part of all of the chores. And to see him, I don't want to say gloating because that's the wrong word, but to see the pride inside of my 23-year-old when he used the saw and he used the drill and he used a measuring device and he cut and he replaced missing panel from the fence. It was a big moment for him. And he was elated. He and Megan were both elated to know that they know where to find the tools. They know what to do. It may have taken some teamwork, and that's the most beautiful thing about it, is the teamwork. And LE has a perfect team partner in Megan, who's going to make sure that she's by his side, and together they're going to dominate, y'all. They're going to run this place maybe better than me and Jamie ever did. I don't know. And that's okay. That is okay. Shirley Dodd, Longhorn Lester's is your happy place. It was your goal, and you've made it a reality. Why is that going to make me cry for? Oh, Lord, Shirley, I'm a Survivor is your home. It's your heart. It's your achievements when you started from nothing that you built. It's your family, so it'll always be precious in your heart. But luckily, we all have hearts big enough. Why am I going to get emotional at this message? But luckily, we all have hearts big enough to love more than one place, more than one person, more than one animal. And isn't that a blessing? Absolutely. Absolutely. I got to read one more. This is my sweet friend Pam. Pam says, God has blessed you with so many blessings. Jamie, children, family, animals, fruits of labor with barns, fences, love from your family. No matter where you call home, home is where your heart is. I'm a Survivor, will be forever, as will be Longhorn Lester's. Your legacy will live on forever, and we will all be better for it. Pam, that's beautiful, and that's so profound, and that's a lot deeper than what I'm going to be able to find a smart reply for. But I wish I've had the words. My mama always told me and my brother to find your words. She never wanted us to be like other men in her life and not be able to find words and instead resort to violence or resort to cursing or resort to running off to the bar. My mama always taught me and Daniel to find your words, just talk. That's just, if you can just find your words. Sometimes it takes slowing down. Sometimes it takes taking a step back, but find your words. And that's the problem that a lot of men don't do. They can't find their words, and they resort to other things, shoving things off the table, pushing things out of the way, breaking stuff, and cursing, drinking, smoking, just running off for a weekend. And I try to find my words, and I just say how all I can say is that it is, after 49 years of paychecking to paychecking to paychecking, and then that moment of seeing all of those things that I had saved and bought being buried there in the ground here in the front yard after the hurricane flood. And I remember the moments, the minutes, the moments, the days, the weeks, months of despair in just not knowing what now. What does your life become now when you have nothing? And I know I'm not alone, y'all. I've read your stories. I know that what I'm saying is no different. It's some of your stories are a lot worse than mine in many cases, a lot worse than mine. But the similar thing is we found ourselves with not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring. And that's hard when you don't know what tomorrow will bring. You don't know. And then tomorrow comes and you just get up and you just keep going. And then you don't know what the next day is going to bring or the next day. And slowly windows or doors begin to open. And I was so blessed to find my way through certain windows and doors. One of those, I say the biggest blessing of all, was just the window into social media. And to how crazy to know that people actually would find anything entertaining about watching my life is beyond me, because I don't know why. you watch me. I know that I'm opinionated. I know I'm hard-headed. I know I'm a goofball. I know I don't use my words wisely. I know I say things that are offensive. I know that I have so many flaws. I'm not the best dad. I'm not the best husband. I'm not the best son. Woo! I'm sick. Y'all know that I'm sick. I'm so sick. And you don't even know how sick I am. You have no idea how sick I am sometimes. And yet you still come every day and you still watch the videos, and the blessing continues to grow. And I don't know why. I just do not know why, because there are so many other people in this world, people I've met, people I know, who are so much more deserving, so much more deserving. They're better Christians, they're better everything. And then yep, I'm sick. I'm just sick. But anyway, I will let you go. I will let you go. It has been a really long live. I think we've been on over an hour and 20 minutes. Who does that? But thank y'all for watching. Tomorrow's video will be about Ernie. We will go ahead and finish up with Ernie. And then I would like to, at some point, maybe not right away, but I did talk extensively to Miss Tina from Camelid Corner, and she gave me a lot of neat information that I will share with you guys in its very own video. It'll be a standalone independent video. But if you have not taken the time to go by her page and review it, she's on Facebook. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the name at the bottom real fast so y'all can see it. Maybe y'all can go find her page. I hope I spelled this right. Camelid Corner. You don't need the apostrophe right there. I'm trying to find Camelid Corner, Corner. So you don't need the apostrophe. I think that's going to be it right there. There you go. So if you guys want to find her on Facebook, just give her a shout out, give her a review, and just let her know how much we appreciate her, and what a magnificent feat she did with Annie, especially. Ernie and Indy were so easy, but she still had some really neat tools to get it all done with. And I know they look better than they've ever looked with us. They do. They look so much better than they've ever looked with us. And I'm embarrassed by that, but it is what it is. Anyway, listen, tomorrow morning on the Longhorn Lester channel, awesome video coming out about Waylon and his attraction to Gracie. You're saying, oh, I already saw it, Lester. I saw it yesterday. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Wrong video. You will see a different perspective on that, which is going to be powerful. And I think that you'll get a lot out of it. Don't forget YouTube. You're a couple of days behind, but that's only because I don't want the same video playing on the same day for the folks who do choose to double dip and watch them both. So I love you guys. I really do. I say that, and it comes from the deepest part of me. And I don't know you, and I've already said I'll probably never meet most of you, or if any of you, but I do. I love the fact that you give me your time and that you give me these wonderful comments. Oh, he made me with a lot more flaws than he made most people, Patricia. I promise you that. You may not know it, because that's the beauty of me being on this end of the camera. I don't get to video all my flaws. I can only video everybody else's. But that's kind of you to say that, so thank you. Guys, I'm going to let you go, and I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Well, very, very soon, okay? All right. Thank you all for watching.